September 22nd, 2014, from MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. It was the Chicago Bears at the New York Jets on Monday Night Football in front of a nationwide audience on prime time. And on the second play from scrimmage, Geno Smith was intercepted by Ryan Mundy as Ryan Monday Night Football ran it back 45 yards for the pick six, and the touchdown made it 7-0 Chicago. So now the New York Jets took over on their own 11-yard line with about 14 and a half minutes left, but they would end up punting it to the Bears. So the Bears took over on their own 17-yard line, and they would bring on the punting unit moments later, but there was a penalty, and so then they would have to punt again. And on the second punt, Saunders muffed the catch, and the Bears recovered as Dixon got the ball. So it was now the Bears' ball on the New York Jets' 40-yard line. Jay Cutler went for Alshon Jeffery. There was a defensive pass interference call, so now it was first and goal on the New York Jets' 7-yard line, and Jay Cutler found Martellus Bennett on 3rd and 7 for a 7-yard touchdown as the Bears now went ahead 14-0. The New York Jets took over on their own 20 with a little less than 10 minutes left in the first, and the Jets made it across the Chicago territory into the 15-yard line, and on 2nd and 9, Geno Smith was sacked by Ferguson for a 13-yard loss, and the Jets would end up settling for a field goal as Nick Novak came out to kick a 43-yard field goal, and it was good as it was now 14-3 as the Jets trailed the Bears by 11 points. Chicago would bring the first quarter to a close with the score 14-3 Bears. The second quarter began with Chicago on the New York 18, but despite being in the red zone, the Bears would settle for a 24-yard field goal from Robbie Gould, and the score would be 17-3 Chicago. The Jets now had the ball on their own 24 to begin their next drive, with 14 minutes left before halftime. Although New York made it to the Chicago 10-yard line, they would end up settling for a 28-yard field goal from Nick Folk that made it 17-6 as New York now trailed by 11 points once again. The Bears punted on their next drive as the Jets took over with a little less than 7.5 minutes left in the half with the ball on their own 23. A big third down conversion on 3rd and 9 from Smith to Kerley for 16 yards kept the drive alive and brought the ball across midfield, and then a penalty would bring them into field goal range, but the Jets would end up finding the end zone 3 plays later as Geno Smith hit Jeremy Kerley for a 19-yard touchdown to make it 17-13 as the Jets were now within 4 points of Chicago. The Bears now had the ball on their own 20 and crossed midfield, but Jay Cutler was sacked by David Harris and he fumbled. Davis recovered, and it was the Jets' ball. Smith was then sacked on the very next play. The Jets went 3 and out, and the Bears got the ball, and the half came to a close with the Bears up with the score 17-13 at halftime. The Bears opened up the third with a scoring drive as Jay Cutler connected with Alshon Jeffery for a 42-yard pass on 2nd and 3 to bring the ball into field goal range, and that was on the second play of the drive that began on their own 20. Forte then picked up 19 yards on a pass from Cutler on the next play, and it was first down on the New York Jets 12. Brandon Marshall then caught a touchdown, but the refs took it off the scoreboard because of illegal use of hands. Then on 3rd and 11, Cutler found Bennett for a 13-yard touchdown just when it looked like Chicago might be held to a field goal, but instead it was a touchdown, and the score was 24-13 Chicago. The Jets and the Bears would both go 3 and out on their next possessions as defense took over for the moment. The Jets would now have possession with 8 minutes left in the third as they began their drive on their own 38. After having made it into the red zone of Chicago, it was first down on the 18, and Geno Smith dropped back to pass and was intercepted by Kyle Fuller as the rookie intercepted the ball, and the Bears would end up punting though, but they did stop the Jets from scoring when the Jets were in the red zone. New York would get the ball back after the Bears punted it back to them, and they had it on the Chicago 28, where they were once again in scoring range. The Jets got all the way to the 2-yard line of the Bears, but a 2-yard loss on 3rd and goal would bring out Nick Folk to attempt a 22-yard kick, and it was good, and the score was now 24-16. The Bears brought the third to a close and began the fourth quarter on the Chicago 28, but the possession would result in a 3 and out as they ended up punting the ball, and the Jets took over on their own 35 with 14 minutes left to play. Geno Smith brought the Jets into field goal range, and Nick Folk kicked a 42-yard field goal to make it 24-19. The Bears now had the ball on their own 27 with less than 10 minutes left in regulation. Jay Cutler led Chicago on a long 12-play drive that ate up almost 7 minutes of the game clock, even though it only netted a 46-yard field goal from Robbie Gould, as he nailed a 45-yard field goal. The drive netted 46 yards, and the score was now 27-19 as the Bears extended their lead to a crucial 8 points. The Jets now had the ball, needing a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to tie the game and send it into overtime. The ball was on the New York 20 with just over 3 minutes left on the clock. The Jets would face 4th and 3 from their own 27, but Geno Smith found a Morrow for the first down. Moments later, it would be 3rd and 11 from the New York 29, and Geno Smith found Greg Salas for a 51-yard pass, and it was now first down on the Chicago 20 with less than 2 minutes on the clock. 2 plays later, a penalty made it first down on the 14-yard line. An incomplete pass on first brought up second down, and a 5-yard pickup as Smith found Powell for a short pass made it 3rd and 5 from the Chicago 9. An incomplete pass made it 4th and 5 from the Chicago 9. Geno Smith dropped back to pass, and he found Jeremy Kerley in the end zone, and he caught it, but he was out of bounds, so it would not be a touchdown, and the Jets turned over the ball on downs, and the Bears would take over, and they took 3 knees, and this game came to a close with the final score 27-19 as the Bears beat the Jets, and they improved their record to 2-1 as the Jets fall to 1-2. And in this game, Jay Cutler was 23 for 38 with 225 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. Geno Smith was 26 for 43 with 316 passing yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 interceptions. The leading rusher in this game was Chris Ivory with 44 yards off of 10 carries. Forte had 33 yards off of 13 carries. He also had 43 yards receiving off of 6 receptions. The leading receiver in the game was Alshon Jeffery with 105 yards off of 8 receptions. Martellus Bennett had 2 touchdowns with 5 receptions and 54 yards. And Jeremy Kerley for the Jets had 81 yards off of 7 receptions as well as a touchdown. Kyle Fuller, the rookie, had that big interception. So did Ryan Mundy, as Ryan Monday Night Football had that pick 6 as the Bears defense got into the end zone. They also had 13 tackles from Bostic and 10 tackles from McCray. So the defense of the Bears came up big. They also had 3 sacks as Ferguson, Paella, and Young each had a sack. The Jets defense put up 4 sacks as Richardson had 1, Wilkerson had 1.5, and Davis had a half sack as well as 12 tackles. But the Bears come out big on the Monday night, is they've actually, on Monday night, I believe Jay Cutler has only lost once, and I think this is his 7th victory on Monday night, as I believe he came into this game 6-1 on Monday night, and now Jay Cutler continues his success on Monday night with this victory as the Bears win 27-19 in New York against the Jets.